Hey there, amazing community. Welcome back to the channel. I'm absolutely thrilled to share some incredible news with you today. If you're passionate about stories of courage, dedication, and national pride, you're in the right place. Buckle up, because we're diving into a monumental event that just unfolded at Burkina Faso's National Active Non-Commissioned Officers School, ENSOA. Picture this: 665 freshly minted sergeants, including 52 fearless women and trainees from 6 different nations, stepping into their roles as defenders of peace. This isn't just a graduation, it's a turning point for regional security, and I can't wait to break it all down for you. Before we get into the details, let me take a moment to shout out you. Yes, you. Whether you're a longtime subscriber, a channel member, or someone discovering us for the first time, your support fuels everything we do. Stories like this matter because you care about the world's unsung heroes. If you're as moved by this as I am, hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and if you're feeling extra generous, consider using the Super Thanks feature to help us keep bringing you these impactful stories. Every contribution, big or small, helps us amplify voices that deserve to be heard. Now let's get into it. Last Friday, March 28th, 2025, marked a historic day for Burkina Faso's military community. The National Active Non-Commissioned Officers School, ENSOA, in Cambouanse, celebrated the graduation of its 16th class of active non-commissioned officers, a cohort baptized Bigakaaba, a name steeped in symbolism. In Gourmanche, one of Burkina Faso's local languages, Bigakaaba translates to the saviors. And saviors they are. In a region grappling with instability, terrorism, and resource shortages, these 665 graduates, 52 of whom are women, represent hope, resilience, and a renewed commitment to peace. What makes this class extraordinary? Let's start with the numbers. A 14-month training program, no weekends off, no shortcuts, designed to meet the urgent demands of today's security challenges. These aren't just soldiers, they're strategists, leaders, and problem solvers. But beyond the stats, it's the diversity that stands out. 17 trainees hailed from 6 allied nations: the Central African Republic, Mali, Chad, Togo, Senegal, and Niger. Imagine the camaraderie: young men and women aged 20 to 30, leaving their homes to train side by side, united by a shared mission to protect their nations and communities. Now let's talk about the training itself. These recruits didn't just sit in classrooms. Their days were a grueling mix of theoretical coursework, hands-on field exercises, night operations, commando drills, and even explosives handling. Think boot camp, but dialed up to 100. Each trainee entered with at least a high school diploma, but they're leaving with something far more valuable: the skills to lead on the front lines. Battalion Chief Ali Bikenga, ENSOA's commander, didn't sugarcoat the challenges. In his speech, he praised the graduates' grit, but also highlighted the school's struggles: overcrowded dormitories, outdated facilities, a lack of vehicles and heavy equipment, and a budget that hasn't kept pace with growing enrollment. But here's what hit me hardest. 5 trainees didn't make it to graduation. Their stories remain untold, but their sacrifice underscores the gravity of this profession. As Battalion Chief Bikenga honored their memory, you could feel the weight of responsibility in the air, a reminder that freedom is never free. Now, let's hear from the graduates themselves. Ninja Kohum, the class delegate, took the stage with a fire in his voice. "We didn't choose this profession by chance," he declared. "We chose to serve our nation, protect our families, and defend our freedoms." Simple words, but imagine the conviction behind them. These aren't just slogans, they're vows. And then there's Janeba Sombier, the class's top graduate, whose words left the crowd in awe. "My peers and I are ready," she affirmed, "ready to strengthen our armies, ready to bring peace to our nations." In a male-dominated field, her leadership is a beacon for women across Africa, proof that courage knows no gender. But the day wasn't just about the graduates. Army Chief of Staff Hamed Herman Rwamba reminded everyone of the real-world stakes. Non-commissioned officers, NCOs, he stressed, are the backbone of any military, the ones leading troops in the trenches, making split-second decisions, and embodying discipline. Your role is an honor, but it's also a heavy responsibility, he said. You're not just soldiers, you're guardians of the nation's trust. Then came Brigadier General Célestin Simporé, Burkina Faso's State Minister of Defense. His message was clear. These young sergeants are critical to the fight against terrorism. We have no doubt, he said, that you have the resolve to face our enemies head-on. In a region where extremist groups exploit instability, these graduates aren't just joining an army, they're joining a war for the soul of their communities. Here's where I need to pause and say, thank you. To every subscriber tuning in, every member who's joined our inner circle, and everyone who's ever shared our videos, you make it possible to spotlight stories like this. When I read about ENSOA's 20th anniversary coinciding with this graduation, I knew I had to share it with you. Institutions like ENSOA don't just train soldiers, they shape futures. But they can't do it alone, neither can we. That's why I'm asking for your help. If this story resonated with you, if you believe in celebrating heroes, amplifying underrepresented voices, or just learning about the world, show some love. Smash that like button to boost the algorithm gods. Leave a comment telling us what you think about these graduates' journey. Share this video with someone who needs a dose of inspiration. And if you're able, click the Super Thanks heart next to the like button. Super Thanks isn't just a sticker. It's a direct way to support the channel financially, helping us cover everything from research costs to editing software. Every contribution keeps us independent and ad-free. Let's zoom out for a second. Why does this graduation matter? Burkina Faso, like its neighbors, faces a complex web of challenges: terrorism, poverty, political instability. The Sahel region has become a hotspot for violence, with groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda exploiting weak governance. In this context, ENSOA isn't just a school. It's a fortress of hope. For 20 years, it's been molding leaders who stand between chaos and order. But here's the kicker. ENSOA is doing this with scraping-by resources. Imagine trying to teach commando tactics without proper gear, or explosive safety without up-to-date equipment. Battalion Chief Bikienga's speech wasn't just a critique, it was a plea for support. These graduates deserve better tools, and so do the instructors pouring their lives into this mission. Yet, despite the hurdles, the ceremony was a triumph. You could see it in the graduates' faces: pride, resolve, a flicker of nervousness. These are young people stepping into a world where their job description includes risk your life daily. But they're not just prepared, they're eager. As Geneba Sombier put it, peace and stability aren't just goals, they're promises. So what's next for the Bigakaaba class? They'll disperse to their respective armies, carrying lessons from Kambouanse into deserts, forests, and urban battlegrounds. Some will mentor new recruits. Others will lead counter-terrorism operations. All will face moments where their training and their character are tested. But here's the thing. They're not alone. Behind them stand communities, families, and nations rooting for their success. And behind us, the storytellers, are people like you who ensure these narratives don't fade into silence. Before I sign off, let's recap why we're here. To celebrate courage, to honor sacrifice, and to remember that change often starts with a single step, or in this case, 665 steps forward. If you're as inspired as I am, let's keep this conversation going. Tag a friend who loves military history. Debate in the comments. What does it take to build a resilient security force? And don't forget, Super Thanks is just a click away if you want to pay it forward. As always, thank you for being part of this journey. Stay curious, stay compassionate, and keep supporting the channels that bring light to the world's darkest corners. Until next time, keep fighting the good fight, both on and off the screen.